Have you ever felt older than your age, even when nothing about your life looks different from everyone else's? That feeling usually isn't about age. It's about something your mind learned without you even realizing it. It doesn't always show on the outside. You can be young, surrounded by people your age, living the same kind of life, and still feel older than everyone around you. Not in a physical way, but more like a quiet sense that your mind has been somewhere they haven't been yet. It shows up in small moments, the way certain conversations don't hold your attention for long, the way you sometimes feel out of place in spaces where others seem completely comfortable, the way you find yourself thinking about things most people don't talk about. It's not that you think you're better than anyone, it's just different. Because feeling older than your age isn't really about maturity in the traditional sense. It's not just about being responsible or wise. It's about the way your mind processes experiences. Some people move through life moment by moment. They react, they adapt, and they move on. But others sit with things. They reflect. They replay conversations long after they've ended, thinking about what was said and what wasn't. They notice patterns in people, in behavior, and in themselves. Over time, that kind of thinking creates a different internal world, one that feels older. In that sense, age isn't measured in years, it's measured in processing. It's about how deeply you've had to think about things and how often you've had to make sense of situations on your own. For some, that starts earlier than expected, not because they chose it, but because they were placed in situations that required awareness too soon. Environments where you had to read between the lines, understand moods without them being explained, and figure things out quietly without guidance. When that happens, the brain adapts. It becomes observant, careful, and aware of things others might not notice yet. From the outside, that looks like maturity, but internally, it feels like you're carrying an awareness that doesn't always have a place to go. That's why certain conversations can feel distant, not meaningless, just shallow compared to the way your mind naturally operates. While others are reacting, you're analyzing. That gap can create a quiet sense of separation. Not loneliness exactly, but distance. Over time, people might describe you as mature for your age or wise, and while those sound like compliments, they don't capture the weight that comes with it. You might find yourself holding back certain thoughts, not because you don't want to share them, but because you already know they won't land the same way. You simplify what you say, or stay quiet and observe, simply because you can already see how the conversation will unfold. But the real reason isn't just deep thinking, it's adaptation. When you spend enough time having to understand things on your own, your mind starts to operate differently. It becomes less reactive and more anticipatory. You don't try to think deeply, you just do. You don't try to notice patterns, they just stand out. You don't try to feel older, it just feels that way. There's another layer to this, feeling out of sync, like you're moving at a different pace, not ahead, not behind, just different. It's in the way you pause before speaking and carry a quiet awareness into situations that don't seem to require it. Part of you is always slightly outside the moment. If you look closely, this feeling doesn't come from age. It comes from the way your mind learned to read situations, to adapt early, and to understand things without being told. Most of it happens so quietly in the background that you don't even question it. But once you start noticing it, a lot of things begin to make sense in a different way. There's a deeper layer to this that most people never stop to look at. I explored that part in the video right here. I'll see you there.